lovely people, today I'm making a tiramisu. I'll try today to make the authentic Italian recipe, and this video is specifically for my friend Sally, which asked me to make the tiramisu video. I've made tiramisu so many times before and I've never thought of making a video of it, so today I will do that. Please, my Italian friends, forgive me if I've forgotten anything. I'll try to make it as authentic as I can. I'll discuss what kind of coffee do we use, what kind of cheese, what kind of biscuit, and if we add cream or not. So let's go ahead and start. First of all, rule number one, a tiramisu doesn't have any cream in it. It's just cheese, eggs, and coffee. That's it. Doesn't have any cream or any whipping cream or any cream at all. Unfortunately, I'm not adding a marsala wine. So this is my first and only deviation from the authentic recipe. I'm not going to add any alcohol in this recipe today. We will start with the coffee. I'm adding 3 double shots of espresso. Please use a good quality coffee. If you do not have an espresso machine, you can absolutely use the manual machine. It will give you the same results. So here I'm using 3 double shots of espresso. I will need it cold, so that's why I started with the coffee. Next, I'm separating 2 egg yolks from the egg whites. There's so many ways to separate them. I just crack the eggs and move the egg yolks between the egg shells until the white falls off. Please don't add any yolks into your whites. If you add any whites into your yolks, that's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter. However, if you add any yolks into your white, your meringue is not going to firm, because we are making a meringue out of this white later. So please don't add any yolks into your whites. After I added the second yolk, I went ahead and added the sugar. My sugar here is from my vanilla sugar jar, which I always put some used vanilla pods from my other desserts. I just pop them in the jar. So if I don't have vanilla, that sugar will taste like vanilla. I added 9 teaspoons of sugar, not 19 spoons, just 9. If you want to add less, that's fine. Just please don't add more. It will be too sweet. If you want to use also custard sugar or powdered sugar, it doesn't really matter. After I added the sugar, I just want to mention here that sugar partially cooks the egg. So if you're concerned about having raw eggs, this is not completely raw. However, in a beef tartare, for example, you eat raw beef plus raw eggs. If you want to do some bain-marie or water bath, you can cook the eggs and the sugar over a simmering water. That will partially cook the egg as well. That would be fine if you would like to do that. Then I went ahead and added half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You don't really have to do that because the coffee has a very strong flavor which covers up any other flavors. And moving on to the cheese. If you're making a tiramisu, you gotta have a mascarpone cheese. That's a no-go. You can, if you want, use cream cheese. However, that will not be an authentic tiramisu. So try as much as you can use mascarpone cheese. By the way, you can actually make your own. It will taste so delicious. So here I'm adding a half a kilo or 500 grams of mascarpone cheese to the mixture, and I'm mixing this up. And again, you don't need electric mixer or stand mixer for this step, as you can easily do it with a whisk. So if you don't have that, it's absolutely fine. I will keep beating it until I reach this consistency, and then I stop. If we are making an authentic tiramisu, we're gonna have a ladyfinger biscuit. You can make your own. Probably I'll do that in the future. It is really easy to make. It's a sponge cake basically. You can make your own ladyfinger biscuit. I just bought these ones from supermarket, and I will start dipping them into the cold coffee. So I have here my cold espresso coffee, and I'm dipping the ladyfinger biscuits for literally 1 second. You don't want to soak them, otherwise they'll be soggy. So I'm just dipping them for 1 second and putting them next to each other until I form a single layer of lady biscuits at the bottom of the pan. Next step, I'm moving to my egg whites. We are trying here to make a meringue. So these 2 egg whites that I saved from the same eggs are beaten constantly until firm. You can use a cream of tartar, you can use a few drops of lemon juice. I didn't use any of them actually. I didn't need to use any of them. If your eggs are not firming up, you can try to use that. Otherwise, if it didn't firm up, that means that it has a little bit of egg yolk, so start all over again. I started this step after I soaked my biscuit in the coffee, as I don't want the air to be deflated from the meringue, so I left that at the end. And the key for any successful meringue is to have hard peaks, and if you flipped the whole thing, it will not fall down. Next, I'm adding my meringue to my egg yolk and mascarpone mixture, and I'm folding so the air doesn't deflate from the mixture. We're just trying to fold here and to incorporate most of the egg whites into the egg yolk and mascarpone cheese. What we're trying to reach here is a silky, smooth mixture. You don't need to incorporate 100% of your egg whites. That will naturally dissolve into the mixture, basically. I didn't fast forward this step so you can see the speed and you can see the consistency that I'm after. After I folded my mixture, I will add it onto my first layer of biscuit. Basically, we're just gonna add some of the mixture or half of the mixture onto the biscuit, and we will try to smooth it out with the spatula. This recipe is actually very rustic, so you don't really have to be very precise or very specific. Actually, sometimes you need to be rustic. So if some of the biscuits are showing, you don't have to worry about it. It's fine, you're just gonna add another layer. So I'm trying to smooth it out as much as possible. I'm not gonna stress about it. After smoothing the mixture, I'm gonna sprinkle over it cocoa powder or cacao. My cocoa powder is not sweetened. We are sprinkling a non-sweetened cocoa powder. And then I'm going to do another layer of ladyfinger biscuit dipped in espresso coffee. And then another layer of mixture. And at the end, we are sprinkling more cocoa powder over the top. Of course, non-sweetened one. And you're going to leave it in the fridge for at least 4 hours, or overnight is better. To be honest, I even actually eat it after 2 days. I just sprinkle some cocoa powder and enjoy. I usually have this as my breakfast next to an unsweetened Turkish coffee, and I'll call this a caffeine bomb. Of course, kids are not going to have from this, so I made Camellia something different, and she also enjoyed. So I hope you try it and you like it, and bon appetit!